You mentioned that quantity and quality of sleep is important.
Yeah.
And so I can understand how somebody could try to control the quantity of sleep they get, but how do they improve the quality of sleep they get?
Yeah. So with quality of sleep, there are various things that can be affected. Some of those things are sort of external factors that can affect the quality of our sleep. And then there are more like intrinsic factors, as well as disorders, medical disorders and things like that can affect our sleep. So I usually try to break it down that way. Mm-hmm. So those sort of more extrinsic factors are things like caffeine intake, things like technology use right before bed and the use of blue light, factors that can affect our sleep environment. So if you're too hot, it's hard for you to get good quality sleep, even though you're in bed. If your mattress is uncomfortable, those are things that can affect our sleep quality. The type of food we take, if you eat a really heavy meal just before bed, that's going to make you really uncomfortable because then your body is sort of focusing on digestion. And then intrinsic factors, things that I like to talk about are things like anxiety or underlying stress, emotion dysregulation. All those things can affect our sleep quality because then your brain is really just still constantly in that fight-flight response mode. And then thirdly would be sleep disorders, obstructive sleep apnea, periodic limb movement, where you just have this restlessness in your sleep. And those jerking movements kind of takes you out of deep sleep to lighter stages of sleep. So really fragmenting your sleep and then you're waking up just really exhausted. And so those really are things. So there's some things that are modifiable with our sleep in terms of the quantity. And there's some that definitely will need the help of an expert to really tease those factors out.
So share with us a little bit more about your schedule and your sleep habits.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I have to constantly be very intentional about prioritizing my sleep. The way I go about it is I just have a set time when I have to stop work. So I set a reminder on my phone to say it's time to wind down. So that way I can finish up whatever I'm doing because I look at sleep as an appointment. And the same way I would not miss my physician's appointment, sleep is a healing process. I have an appointment with sleep because my brain is going to now get to work and consolidate everything I've done, everything I've learned, and things like that. And so once I do that, then I have a bedtime routine because otherwise I'm taking all that work and all that energy and stimulation into bed with me, and that's not a good place to be. So I have a routine that I practice just to kind of cue my body for sleep. And that is things like I always take a bath. It helps drop my core body temperature, which is something that happens when we sleep. And then I'll get into my PJs and I either will read a book or just reflect and do some journaling. Gratitude habits is something that I try to work on. So what are things that went well today and just write it. If there's anything in my mind that's causing my mind to race, usually I'll note that down as well. So that kind of like offload it from my mind. So I'm not sleeping with it. So that's been what I've done and it's worked really well.
For us, by us, and just for us, this is Hope for Med.